All who thirst for freedom may come with us.
Hey everyone, welcome to Exodus Americanus. I'm Stone, he's Roscoe. We're in, week 13, episode 13? And we've got a busy schedule today. We've got a Supreme Court justice dead, maybe murdered if we want to get into some conspiracy shit. We've got the Shoah of the alt-right on social media. We've got Bernie being a bum.
It don't matter.
And we got predictions for the Gamecuck state. So let's get after it.
Let's rock and roll. So,
all right. Well, yeah. First topic we want to hit on is, I guess the big thing is, Twitter hasn't made a profit ever, and they're shedding subscribers like crazy. Even if you discount all the terrorist accounts they're deleting. So, I mean, the alt-right pretty much owns Twitter now. So
that's not good for the establishment.
Yeah. So it's got to go.
Yup. So I think two big challenges that we're gonna face going forward in 2016 is there's gonna be a lot of purity purges within our little corner of the internet. I think there's gonna be a lot of infighting.
Yeah, I mean, there's already some of that infighting, but that has to do over sports ball and not anything relevant.
I still have no idea why Greg Johnson and Richard Spencer dislike each other. Like, no freaking clue. I did enjoy hearing them together on Red Ice Radio, even though basically all they did was throw shit at each other.
Throw shade.
Right? Like, come on, bros.
Dude, speaking of throwing shade, Donald Trump's Twitter account is the fucking master at that. Out of all of the candidates, I don't know if he runs it or what, but I know he doesn't drink, but that's what I would do if I was a candidate. I would just get drunk and fucking shitpost like he does on Twitter. And he kills it. I mean, he shitposts better than we do.
Oh, for sure. He is the master of 144 characters. Just brutal behind the keyboard, man.
And brutal behind the podium.
Mm-hmm.
After the debate, what was that, Saturday?
Yup.
That was, what was it? There were 1,600 seats. 1,000 of them were given out, or the tickets were given out by the establishment. And the other 600 were split between the other, 6 or 7 candidates?
Right. Like, didn't Mrs. Trump have to watch from his friggin' dressing room?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. You're pushing it too far.
And the thing is, I don't know whose bright idea it was to have them boo every time Trump spoke, but the people on TV, they know. I mean, they could tell that it's a fucking setup, is what it is.
Well, it was interesting.
It's too obvious.
I've got a normie friend who is very, very, uninvolved with politics. And I got him to tune in and, give me your, tell me what you feel about these guys. Like, this is a guy, without a lot of, he's not had a lot of time to build an opinion on these guys. So I'm just getting, sort of flash responses. He's like, I don't know what it is, but I don't like Ted Cruz. Like you said, everything about Ted Cruz just felt insincere. But
he's a fucking snake, is what he is.
Yep. And he said Marco Rubado looked like a. Said it looked like somebody was running script through him.
Well, Sheldon had to reprogram him after the debate before New Hampshire.
Rudd prompt cuckold.
he sounds. Well, I mean, he is a faggot, but he sounds like such a faggot when he speaks. He's so, soft spoken and
Ponzi.
yeah, he has
He's a
the exact same.
limp-wristed pickle smoocher.
He has the exact same tone of voice and exact same cadence, no matter what he's talking about.
Let's dispel with
It's
this notion that Marco Rubio doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
he's just doing what he's programmed
Right?
to.
He's booting from the C drive every time.
Yeah, if you all haven't listened, go to our SoundCloud and check out Roscoe's cover of Marco Robato. It is absolutely hilarious. It
And I
and
promise that once I like I mentioned last week, I absolutely fucking shreked my laptop. I'm
yeah.
I'm actually in the process of acquiring a pretty sweet desktop rig. So I want to redo Marco Robato. I've got a few other songs I want to do, a few other projects that we have coming down the pipe.
Yeah, we have a major one that we've been playing in that's still under wraps, and it's not the Brain Trust. So it's
I don't know what it is. Whenever we talk about the brain trust, I just start, just feverishly rubbing my hands together in front of my face.
it's amazing.
Playhappymerchant.jpg.
We need a I know a couple engineers. I'll get them to draw one up, a design for the Brain Trust.
And let them know it's got to be green.
All right. I know we want to get back to the social media thing, but I mean, this has to do with social media. I just saw, let me find it again. Okay. Obviously about the refugees and everything. A German girl was raped at one of like the migrant centers or whatever, basically the rape centers. And let's see, this is translated from her Facebook post. Well, it's translated from a German page about her Facebook post.
Just do your best.
A 24-year-old woman and speaker for the German Left Youth Party was gang raped by 3 immigrants on January the 27th in the city of Mannheim. German police are still carrying out their investigation, but on January the 30th, the woman wrote an apology on Facebook addressed to the immigrants who allegedly raped her. So she's apologizing to her rapists. It says, here's a few excerpts from the now deleted post. Dear male refugees, you are probably my age, probably a few years younger, maybe older. I am so terribly sorry. I did not see what happened before, and I did not experience your grueling escape. I am glad and happy that you made it here, that you have left the IS, Islamic State, and its war behind, and that you didn't drown in the Mediterranean Sea. But I fear you are not safe here. Burning refugee centers, violent attacks on refugees on the street, and a brown mob in the streets.
You raped me.
The brown mob.
You raped me, and you're not safe.
Yeah, but she's calling a brown mob, but she's talking about the people, wearing their Nazi uniforms and not the actual brown mob. The people that were out raping and sexually molesting people on New Year's Eve and,
Every
raping and molesting.
Since.
Yeah.
Give you an idea of what kind of people we're bringing over, fam. Like one of these dudes, like 20-something-year-old immigrant at a German pool, drags a 10-year-old boy into a stall and rapes him so bad that he's still hospitalized a week later with internal injuries. When he's arrested, you know what he was doing? He wasn't running away. He wasn't hiding. He was just having a good old time playing in the swimming pool. Because that's what you do after fucking permanently, physically, and emotionally scarring a 10-year-old boy. Just go back to what you're doing. It's fine. It's normal. Just a thing we fucking do.
Mama Merkel invited him here. He's safe.
Yeah.
It goes on, though. I have always fought against this situation. I wanted an open Europe, a friendly one in which I like to live, one in which both of us are safe. I am so sorry. For both of us, I am so unbelievably sorry. What kind of... this is a woman, but what kind of fucking cuckery is this?
You stupid fucking bitch. Like, it's not enough for her to get raped. Like, we all have to get raped, too. Like... This just makes me so fucking mad.
I wish I could speak German so I could actually read the post. There's too many too many capital letters, and too many run-on words. I don't understand your booga booga language, Germans. I'm sorry.
God, I mean, I've seen some intense cuckery, but Jesus Christ.
But you wouldn't you won't see this stuff anymore after Twitter's gone. We don't have a platform like this anywhere else. Facebook, they'll just delete you, and if you want your account back, then you gotta send them your ID, which immediately doxes you. And what are we gonna do? Just keep a database of all the people in the alt-right's names?
Yeah, everybody's committed bad think.
Well, I mean, for us to keep track of who our people on our side are.
Yeah.
Because every group that we would start would get shut down. Every account that we would create would get deleted immediately.
Well,
Twitter is like the only refuge we have. And
it's going to be gone soon. Hopefully, maybe we'll start a Kickstarter and buy that shit at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Come together with that, $1,200.
Yeah, we don't need their infrastructure. We just need their software.
Shit. So much faggotry. But yeah, they're gonna push everyone. Every dissenting voice is gonna be pushed out. Gonna be pushed out of social media, the regular media. It's time, fam.
And I mean, yeah, what are we gonna like? That's my question. I haven't thought of a lot about it, so I don't have any sort of answer for it. But it's pretty startling, especially when we're just getting so used to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting pretty good at Twitter, and then they're gonna shut it down. Pisses me off.
I mean, that's one of the fundamental differences between us and the left is we have the agency to build shit. Like, instead of when we decided to do a podcast, we didn't, go to somebody else and say, hey, guys, post our podcast for us. So, no, fuck it. We'll build our own boat.
We figured out what software to use, what software to pirate, what mics to buy, all that cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think we put a pretty fair amount of work into this.
Yeah, not bad for a couple of shitlords who had no idea what they were doing.
Hey, getting better at it every day. At least that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if our plans come into fruition, aw, shit, man. It's going to be weird. But I think everybody will be happy with it.
Things are getting weird, man.
Yup.
What's that off of?
Hold on.
It might be American Dad, but I don't know.
Right. All I know is that when Mr. Meeksies are along, or Mr. Meeksies aren't supposed to be alive this long.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Do we have a Mr. Meeseeks drop? I don't think I ended up doing that. Mr. Meeseeks aren't supposed to live this long. Things are getting weird.
I love how everyone on that show says Jerry.
It's all the same guy though. It's all Dan Harmon or whatever his name is.
Huh.
He does the vast majority of the voices. Like he does Rick and Morty, and like those episodes where they do the TV or whatever.
And
it's just
him doing improvisational shit with himself.
Yeah. But yeah, he does like all the aliens voices and all, unless it's like a guest star or whatever.
God, John Oliver was on there and I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, he was the bacteria guy or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what he is, a bacteria.
Oh, shit.
Bacterium. Bacteriophage.
Can I still do a John Oliver impersonation? Oh my God. It is the current year.
That wasn't bad.
You would not believe how many dildos I've sat upon this evening. My rectum has been completely prolapsed.
Oh fuck.
There's something about John Oliver. I don't know what it is. I just want to put him in a burlap sack and beat him with a length of rebar.
You want to do that to a lot of people.
That is so very true. That is. It's kind of sad how many times that goes. Ah, jeez. I think about that a lot. Just throwing people down elevator shafts, brain trusting people.
My favorite thing to do would be, well, not to do, but what I would like to do, and I think it would be my favorite because I've never done it, is kick somebody down an up escalator.
One of my goals in life is to get into a big fist fight at a shopping mall in front of a fountain. Oh, by the way, you may not know this, but my fist's names are Chinese and buffet. But basically, I'm just pummeling this guy like this big end of the movie fight scene. And finally, I uppercut him and drop him into the fountain. And then I say, at the Chinese buffet, water's on the house.
like a 15-minute a 15-minute fight like that Rowdy
Like They Live.
Rowdy Piper. Yeah, They Live.
Roddy Piper versus Keith David.
Yeah, we talked about that before, and it's so funny.
Oh my god. I love Roddy Piper. Like, so many of those old wrestlers just had amazing personas. Like the Nature Boy.
Or any of Mankind's characters.
They're all so good. See, this is why we need you guys to give us feedback, because we don't know whether or not you guys enjoy when we just shit post like idiots.
Yeah. This started with Twitter and Facebook, and it ended with dream fights and movies we've already talked about. And I guess it's going to move on to Jewish Supreme Court justices, because what? There's 3 of them now?
I thought there were 4.
Oh, 3 women. 3 Jewish women. I mean, yeah, well, 4 out of 8 now since Scalia was murdered.
Let's look at these guys. Yeah. Scalia dead as fuck. Anthony Kennedy. Clarence Thomas. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I thought for sure I would have put money on her in a Deadpool. I definitely would have put money on her.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Oh god. Maybe Sonia Sotomayor will go next.
I think Ginsburg died 10 years ago, but she keeps showing up for work.
Did you see that? I saw an article on a Drudge Report. Some guy hadn't been to work in 6 years.
Yeah, that Spanish guy.
Yes.
Yeah, they did you read it? They shipped him off to a new place to work, but he was the only one there. So he would just go in for a couple hours a day and read and then go home because they just forgot about him. They were going to fire him, and then they never fired him, but they moved him. But since the firing proceedings had already gone through, he wasn't in their system anymore except on their payroll. So no one ever thought he worked there. And so no one could check on him, thought to check on him.
And that's how governments spend money.
Okay, so he made I did the math, and it was over $500,000 in the last 6 years or 10 years or whatever to do nothing.
I mean, good on him.
Yeah. I mean, he did nothing wrong.
No. He did what every human being would do. If I stopped going to work and they kept sending me paychecks, I mean...
It's like the dude from Office Space.
Right?
Except it doesn't end with a burned down building.
I was going to say, isn't it backwards? Didn't they stop paying him and he kept coming?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They stopped paying him, he kept coming. That's what it was. Man, fuck me, I know that.
Good old Office Space.
So do we want to cover anything about Scalia, about any conspiracy theories, or just talk about who's going to replace him, or what we want to do?
Jeez. I don't know. It was so weird. What was the first thing they said? He's like, oh, he's dead, and it was all natural causes. So we're not going to do an
Yeah,
autopsy.
yeah, like they immediately did it. Like they found his body, and then like 20 minutes later, the judge got called, and he's like, "Oh, natural causes,
Right? That's like
no autopsy."
that's like you go out for drinks and you're having a good time and you wake up in the morning and you're in some strange bed and there's some guy just waiting there for you to wake up. And you wake up and he looks you in the eye and he says, "Don't worry, I didn't rape you."
So that's disturbing. Uh, yeah, he was 79 years old, so he's old. So natural causes aren't out of the picture. But they found him with a pillow over his head, which that is not that weird itself. My old man sleeps with a pillow over his head. So if somebody wants to find my old man and kill him, just suffocate him with a pillow. No one would ever know. So he could have slept with a pillow over his head.
Well, you don't have to have that much tinfoil to go on YouTube and see congressional hearings about fucking CIA agents or operatives talking about heart attack guns and chemicals used to induce death and all this shit. Like videos that are 20 years old of congressional hearings, these people talking about that stuff.
That if you want to get really conspiracy theory, what probably happened to Breitbart?
Wait, hold on. Was he the one who's. No, no. It was Chris Matthews whose car just fucking imploded.
I don't know. But Breitbart, mysteriously died of that heart attack
Mm-hmm.
while he was out walking or whatever. I mean, he did have heart trouble, but yeah,
He was.
it was getting ready to announce something big about Barack, and they died like 2 days after he made that announcement, and nothing ever got leaked.
Right? Nobody ever found his files or anything?
Hmm.
Like, you're going to tell me old boy didn't have, like, a dead man switch in place or something?
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think about Scalia.
It's. Well, I guess, it's irrelevant whether or not, like, the current administration tried to kill him or whatever. Because, they're going to do everything they can to make the best out of it. They're going to try to put in the most radical fucking person they can.
Yeah, speaking of that, USA Today has their top 10 names to replace Scalia, and I did some quick Wikipedia. There are 10 people, 5 non-whites, 4 women, and 2 Jews. So if you're doing that math and you're like, Mr. Stone, that's 11, and you said only 10. Well, obviously there's some crossover there, but one person is a crossover, a non-white woman. But guess how many white men there are, non-Jewish white men, Mr. Roscoe?
I'm going to take a big goose egg on that one.
Absolutely correct. No white men
Yep. Can't let white
on
dudes
the
do
Obama
anything.
short list.
They're apparently evil or something. I don't know if you got that memo.
Apparently. That's what I've been reading on Huffington Post.
Yeah. That's what they told me on Shalom. Or is it Salon? I can't remember.
It's Jezebel. You're mispronouncing it at all.
Jezebel?
Yeah, Jezebel.
Jizz. Jizz. Jezebel.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jezebel.com. Jizz all over my face and chest.com. A bell. Oh, man. My mom's going to talk to me about that one.
I want to hear your New York Jew impersonation of her.
Roscoe, we heard you were posting racist things on the internet. We heard what you said about that nice guy Anderson Cooper. Now, Roscoe, you can't go on the internet calling people faggots. So, well, Mom, in my defense, it was Anderson
They are
Cooper
faggots.
that fucked a guy, and not I. I have never fucked a guy.
Oh shit.
Hmm.
So another thing that I think is fucking crazy. Back in 2007 or 2008, when who was it? Stevens stepped down. All the Democrats were like, "Oh, we can't have anybody appointed under the Bush administration. We got to wait until the next president comes in."
Yeah, and
And now
everybody's
the
throwing a shit
Republicans are
fit.
trying to do that. And now, yeah, now they're throwing a shit fit. Oh, you can't do that. It's illegal. But back in like 60s or 70s, Democrats actually like made it wasn't like a law, but it was like a procedural thing in the Senate where they wouldn't do it during the last months of a presidency.
Well, you know what? Fucking block it. And if they don't like it, tell them to take it to the Supreme Court. Oh, wait, you can't take it to the Supreme Court.
So I hope
Look, that's what the left has done to us for the last fucking, what,
Yeah.
60 years? Like, there's no, no, fuck them. Don't extend them any courtesy. Don't offer to, hamstring ourselves because, oh, we must be fair and egalitarian to a fault. No, fuck that. I like having a country better than I like having liberals say nice things about me.
what do you think the odds are that Mitch McConnell will actually hold his ground?
Wow. That is a good question. One thing I'm interested in, do you think Rand Paul, even though now he won't really need old bitch McConnell's endorsement and help, do you think he'll still keep trying to play nicey with McConnell?
Well, when's he up for re-election?
Good question.
Is it? No, was he elected in 2012? Maybe he's up for election this year.
Rand or McConnell? Yeah, I was
Rand.
gonna say McConnell just ran against was it Lunderman Grimes?
Yeah, and absolutely fucking
I
destroyed her.
destroyer, if you know what I mean.
So Rand was, yeah, he was elected in 2010, so he's up this term.
Right? You think he's
So I don't know if he will.
he's got to try to sell the people of Kentucky on that Detroit Republicans bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
which didn't go over so well on the national stage.
I get what he's trying to do, but come on, Rand, you're smarter than that.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's some simple math you can do to see where you should be applying your effort, and it isn't there.
No.
You're not the guy who's suddenly going to go in and make an argument to these people that are probably 85 IQ and lower. That they're going to be like, oh, yes, now I finally see. Finally, I could sign up for the Mises Institute newsletter.
Well, if they lived in Flint, they probably couldn't see.
Oh, my God. Some bag on Facebook was posting, like, about why Republicans are assholes because they didn't do anything about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. And I'm like, well, maybe they could have done something if a Republican had been elected in Flint in the last 50 years.
Or had been the governor at the time, or controlled either house
Like, what
at the time, or
like the people of Michigan spoke. They had the leadership they wanted, and that's what the leadership that they wanted gave them. Like, I mean, gotta own the bad.
that's the biggest crock of shit.
It's all a crock of shit, man.
Yeah.
Despite me, my statement that everything is a crock of shit, going into 2016 and even almost 2 months in, feeling good about 2016.
Yeah, but with Scalia's death, I think it's even more of an imperative that Trump get in, because if we don't get him, then we're. I mean, even if somehow Obama gets to push through, Loretta Lynch or Sri Indian name, or Cory Booker, that's I mean, if we have a Trump presidency, then I mean that can balance it out a little bit. But if Trump gets it doesn't get in and Obama pushes it through, we're fucked.
Bye bye Second Amendment. Bye bye borders. Basically, goodbye Anglo Americans.
Hmm. It's fucking scary. Like,
Hmm.
what was that? Saturday, I worked all day Saturday, and I didn't get the. I literally read zero news all day. When I fucking saw that in the evening, my heart just stopped.
Yeah.
It's it's
Yeah.
scary just to think of that possibility.
But
But
here's the thing.
I'm like, I'm still optimistic, But
Well, here's one thing. Let's look at the silver lining. Say Obama does push, put in somebody radical and is able to push that through. I think that's too fast, too soon. I think that pushes the needle too far in our direction. From
maybe
their perspective. Like I don't feel like there's supposed to be any type of white identity political awakening yet. If that was going to happen, I think it was supposed to happen when there was like 40% of whites left in America. Not still at what, 65, 68?
something like
Yeah.
that. Not enough.
No.
Oh shit! Somebody just posted a little macro or image or meme or whatever on Twitter. It's Marco Rubio, and he has a finger up on each hand, and they're about like 2 feet apart. It says that guy in the park had a dick like this.
Oh,
I'll retweet that.
I insist. All right, man. You want to play us into a break so we can get a refill, hit the can?
Yeah, we get a good first half in. We'll come back with a little bit more political. I mean, it's all
It's
political,
all
but
political.
election shit when we get back. This is going to be a little bit longer of a break. Roscoe had a good idea of playing this "In America" by Charlie Daniels song, so we're going to play that all the way through. It's about 3 minutes and 20 seconds, so it's a little bit longer than usual, but bear
It
with
gets
us,
pumped.
and we'll get. Yeah, it should get you pumped, and it will at least get you a little bit triggered, which is what we're hoping for. So we will catch you back here in just a minute. Thanks.
Welcome back to Exodus Americanus, where if we're not drunk, it's not podcasting. Coming back from
Yeah.
coming back from a short little break, got a few different little things to go over, and it was a fun break. We got some Twitter shit posting in.
Yeah, it was longer than a short break. It was one of our, we drink another glass of bourbon and shit post on Twitter.
Oh my!
And we shit posted unbelievably well.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that we've not got any like nothing from Black Lives Matter yet. Like, come on, like what do we got to do to the hornet's nest?
That was a bold move on my part to hashtag them in on that, but
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. So I got next.
I was gonna say if they're gonna do a Zoolander 2 movie, well, I guess I already did it. It's out now. They need to do a Dodgeball 2 movie.
Oh my god, that was probably my favorite movie out of that whole iteration of garbage movies. And speaking of garbage, Mr. Stone, are you feeling the burn?
A little bit, like in my private parts.
Oh no!
Oh no, I'm just kidding.
Don't tell me you licked a woman who wasn't clean. It's bad news bears, bro.
No, that was a bad joke on a rye.
Speaking of rye, how's that bullet rye treating you?
It's good. I haven't had it in what is it? The current year is 2016, so probably 7 or 8 years.
Oh man,
I would say.
it's a long time.
I know the guy whose family makes it.
You know a goy who
And
knows a goy?
I know a guy who owns it basically. He travels around the country and promotes it. That's his job. I see it all over on Facebook all the time. But
Shit.
he used to date a friend of mine, and I would hang out with her when it was like a group of people, and he would always bring the bullet rye. I'm like, or bullet just bourbon. And I asked him one time, I was like, why do you always bring this and let everybody drink it for free? He's like, oh, my family owns it.
Nice.
So that's how I got introduced to it, and it's delicious.
Oh, it's great.
And bullet, if any of our dozen listeners want to go check it out, it's bullet spelled Bulleit, I think.
It's got a good burn.
Yeah, Bulleit. It's even if you don't like rye and you just want the regular bourbon, it's super smooth, really good. It's better than the stuff we normally drink on here, or I normally drink on here, like Natty.
Yeah, like that. Like a bullet is one of my casual drinks. Like that's what I'll break open on a weeknight.
I like Buffalo. I don't even know if they make a rye. I don't think they do.
They do. It's not very good.
No. Well, just their regular bourbon. I love that. It's cheap. It's like the price of Beam, I think. Just maybe $1 or $2 more.
It's roughly the same flavor profile as Woodford Reserve.
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and I don't really care for either of those, but I'm quite the bourbon snob. Anyway, so speaking of burns, what about that Bernie victory up in New Hampshire? You would think that the guy who won would have merged with the most delegates.
You would think, but Bill's been Bill and Hillary have been going down on everybody, all the super delegates. So what was the final tally? Does Real Clear have the final tally on it?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see if we can find it.
The New Hampshire Democratic primary, goy.
Oh, I've got a cat trying to tenderize my knee meat.
So the final results were 60.4% voted for Sanders, 38% voted for Hillary.
Oof.
And let's see, where's the delegate count?
Can't make that too accessible, Goyam. You'll have to shut it down.
What?
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it all down.
I can't wait till I can start doing drops again, man.
Oh well. Hillary either emerged with the exact same amount of delegates or more. So even though she got crushed by over 20%, she still walked out with at least as many delegates as Byrne.
And that's, there's a lot of things that we can talk about with Bernie, but I think the most important thing to remember is he is ultimately irrelevant.
He's a dirty bum who didn't earn his first steady paycheck until he was 40.
One thing that I think is worth mentioning is if you look at who is Bernie supporters, it's basically white college kids. And it is a very racial split about who the Bernie supporters are.
Yeah, but I've been seeing lately that he's been attracting a lot more of the black vote. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why, because all of his gives me dats.
Well, all of his shit about like forgiving college tuition, that's not going to appeal to blacks. Like if he wants to appeal to blacks, like start hollering about like mitigating prison sentences and shit, like letting felons vote. Like then you'll get the black crowds excited.
Even if I was a socialist, I would still fucking hate to vote for Bernie and his forgive all student loans, because I already paid off all my fucking student loans. So why did I would vote against him just to be a dick to the people behind me. I was fiscally responsible right when I got out of college. Wasn't making that much, but I spent every dollar I had paying down those fucking loans.
Do you know who Bernie Sanders supporters are?
Swipples.
People with a sub 120 IQ trying to fit in with people that have about a 120 IQ. So, I mean, 120 is about a standard deviation. And I feel like that's just so far in my rearview mirror. Like any arguments about socialism are just like LOL, Allende. Like, I mean, there's a whole fucking list.
Well, listen, Goy, aren't you a fan of National Socialism?
Well, what year is this? Is it 1933?
It's the current year.
Oh. Do we live in Germany?
Well, we do have an influx of mud people.
That is kind of similar to what Germany's going through.
But we speak English.
That's true. We do speak a little English every now and then.
We do speak the Lord's language.
We do. But shit, there wasn't any thread of a thought that I may have had. But it doesn't matter how many votes Bernie gets. It's gonna be handed to Hillary unless she gets fucking frog marched.
I know, but I would still want to see Bernie get the nomination, because I just want to see
a Trump Bernie.
I want to see a 1984 election all over again.
Ooh.
Because Minnesota is one of the states I think Bernie would actually win, so it would be right in line with 1984. Because that was the only state Reagan lost, right?
Well, seeing as how I may have been like almost a year old at that point, I don't think I'm a great witness on the subject. Oh, geez, I gotta close this fucking USA Today tab with all these gross non-whites.
Does it keep playing audio in the background? Mine kept doing that. Even though I muted it, it kept getting through.
Like Flash doesn't, like nothing Flash or anything like that activates unless I say it's okay to run the plugin. So that way, if I go see what's going on with sports ball, I don't get brutalized.
So yeah, 1984, Reagan won every state against the convicted child molester Walter Mondale.
Didn't he help cut up the Christian babies that Jimmy Carter ate?
I think it is.
Yeah. And he killed those 2 women that he raped. You know, that has nothing to do with the child molestation.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about that, but yeah, Walter Mondale. I think we talked about this before. Man, he looks like such a fucking pedophile in his official portrait. Like he makes Bernie Sanders look like an evangelical Christian more than he looks like not a child molester.
Like, all I know is that's the kind of guy you expect to have to inform the neighborhood about some bad news.
Back to Bernard.
Bernie,
This is from the Gateway Pundit.
vote for me, Goyam.
So a pretty pretty popular website, pretty stand-up website. So we're not pulling shit off of like Huffington Post or something like that.
Garbage.
We're just speaking of Huffington Post, have you seen their like little editor's note at the bottom of all their articles about Trump now? I'm gonna quote this exactly.
You don't want to fuck it up?
Yeah.
Come on, do it right, you white piece of shit.
All right. Under every story from now on, I guess that they're even going back and doing it for all
doing
the old
it
posts.
retroactively.
They have a editor's note on every single article. Note to our readers: Donald Trump is a serial liar, a rampant xenophobe, a racist, birther, and bully who has repeatedly pledged to ban all Muslims, 1.6 billion members of an entire religion or cult from entering the U.S. And yeah.
We're monsters for not wanting to be eradicated.
No other. When somebody Politico asked Huffington about this, and they said, yes, we're planning to add this note to all future stories about Trump. No other candidate has called for banning 1.6 billion people from the country. Why the fuck would you want to bring in 1.6 billion people to a country that could of 300 million, 330 million?
Right. Well, here's my one thing about immigration. Like, at what point do we have the right to say no? Like,
none, because you're white.
That's a question that these cucks have never even fucking considered. Like, just the idea that we might at some point say, you know what, that's enough, we're good.
Yeah.
But
there's negative jobs to go around.
Right. And one thing they're not talking about is, just out of Syria, what did we say they had? Like, I remember we mentioned this before, like an 80-something IQ.
Yeah.
And that's the sweet spot for violence right there, that 85. Like a little bit lower and you're too dumb to do much of anything, and a little bit higher and you realize the negative repercussions of violence. And they're right in that sweet spot, like with American blacks, for hyper-violent activity. And to make matters even worse, in Christianity, banging your cousins has been banned for a long fucking time. In Islam, it is encouraged. Like you can look at the
Judaism is a fact of life.
Yeah.
What is it, like pretty much every Jewish person is like within like a fourth or fifth cousin of each other?
At the very least, it's
I got banned. I got blocked on Twitter by somebody because he called me an inbred fool when I called him anti-Semitic. And I said that Jews are the most inbred people on the planet, and then he blocked me for that.
What a puss.
He accuses me of incest, but he doesn't want to, take on his own anti-Semitic points of view.
Some people just can't handle the bants, man.
Well, speaking of somebody who's probably inbred and definitely Jewish, Bernie Sanders.
All right.
I'm just going to read this article verbatim. Headline on Gateway Pundit: Bernie Sanders a bum who didn't earn his first steady paycheck until age 40, then wormed his way into politics. And here's the article. What a shock. Bernie Sanders was a bum who didn't earn a paycheck until he was 40 years old. He was a slob who lived in a shack with a dirt floor and wrote about masturbation and rape for left-wing publications. I guess they're trying to throw in there.
Yeah, I saw it.
For $50 a story. The socialist later wormed his way into politics. And it has a picture of him looking like Woody Allen on a bad day. Woody Allen.
Looking like a gross buck-toothed Jew.
Bernie had his electricity cut off a lot, so he'd run an extension cord down to the basement. He couldn't pay his bills. And today he's running for president, so he could take your money and redistribute it. Investors Business Daily reported, Sanders spent most of his life as an angry radical and agitator who never accomplished much of anything. Is that not indicative of a lot of Jews?
Right? Get a little nepotism here and there.
And yet now he thinks he deserves the power to run your life and your finances.
Be the most
So, yes,
powerful
nepotism.
man in the free world.
We will raise taxes, he confirmed on Monday. Yes, we will. One of his first jobs was registering people for food stamps. And it was all downhill from there. Sanders took his first bride to live in a maple sugar shack with a dirt floor, and she soon left him.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Dude, do you remember that room I had when we were in college together, like with the slanted ceiling and shit?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty bad to bring a girl back to, but that's still better than a dirt floor.
Yeah.
Like, my cheap ass
I mean-
basically lived in a fucking walk-in closet for 3 years.
You could have a house with no drywall. You could just have the frame, with the pipes and the not even insulated electric wires, and it would still be better than a fucking dirt floor.
So, are you even trying, Bernie?
And a maple sugar shack. Like, his ass was going out and putting buckets on trees. I'm sure every time if he had to hammer a nail into the tree, he'd cry for the fucking tree's feelings. Anyways, penniless, he went on unemployment. Surprise,
You
surprise.
can't make this shit up.
Then he had a child out of wedlock. Surprise, surprise. This is even better about the nail. Desperate, he tried carpentry, but could barely sink a nail. So yeah, there's no way he was doing any shit with the maple sugar
No.
trees because he couldn't fucking hammer a nail into a soft board.
What a cock.
He was a shitty carpenter, a friend told Politico magazine. So a friend is saying this. His carpentry was not going to support him, and it didn't.
My friends might say I'm a shitty person, but they certainly wouldn't say I'm a shitty carpenter.
Then he tried his hand freelancing for leftist rags, writing about masturbation and rape and other cruelties for $50 a story. He drove around in a busted-out, Bondo-covered Volkswagen Bug with no working windshield wipers.
Nah, dude.
Friends said he was always poor, and his electricity was turned off a lot.
No way.
They described him as a slob who kept a messy apartment. To be fair, if you only have a dirt floor, I mean, I guess your apartment's always going to be messy.
It's true.
As soon as it rains, you're going to be living in pig slop anyway. But to go on, and this is what his friends had to say about him. The only thing he was good at was talking, nonstop, about socialism and how the rich were ripping everybody off. Well, if I didn't have a job until I was 40, and I lived in a shack with a dirt floor, I couldn't hammer a nail into the maple sugar trees outside. Then yeah, I guess I would be pretty pissed off about the rich.
And if you looked like he did, so the dude can't earn a living, he can't pull any trim, and he lives in a place with a dirt floor. Of course he hates everyone.
He says the whole quality of life in America is based on greed.
Here, let me read that. Where is it?
About the middle of the quoted part.
Let's see. So he tried politics.
No, above that.
The whole quality of life in America is based on greed. The bitter layabout said, I believe in the redistribution of wealth in this nation.
I think my favorite part of the article was them calling him a bitter layabout.
Bitter
Such a
layabout.
fucking...
It's so accurate.
It's such an awesome shade to fucking throw. And I love the word shade. I fucking stole that from the Negroes. It is so hilarious.
Dude, what about that insult I threw at that guy the other day? What was it? I called him a cowardly political dilettante.
That was on Facebook too.
That was on fucking normie Facebook. Dude was calling me a racist and shit, and I was like, brah, you're signaling against your own in group for a group of people that want to fucking murder you. Like he was trying to say that the Christians were just as evil as the Muslims.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, brah, don't try to play fucking moral relativism with me. Because I'm smarter than you.
Hey, we could go on an entire mini-series about the Crusades and
why it was justified.
Yeah. And then still be completely uninformed on the entire topic.
Oh, yeah. Like, basically, it took 400 years for Europe to be like, okay, stop. And start doing something about it.
We're only about halfway through this article, so let's get... This is
it's
the best.
So funny, man.
All right, so he tried politics, started his own socialist party. 4 times he ran for Vermont public office, and 4 times he lost badly. He never attracted more than single-digit support, so I guess he's like Jeb Bush. Even in the People's Republic of Vermont. Oh man, I want to know who wrote this article. Jim Hoft. He's definitely not echoing. Oh shit. We know. Well, to our listeners, I recently started a new job, but also keep working on my old job. And at my new job, I installed Chrome on my computer and it imported all my settings. So it had my coincidence detector running strong. It didn't almost get me fired, but it could have. It was the lady was in the room. My boss lady was in the room.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, I should probably get rid of all those parentheses around everything that's tabbed on my browser.
No, just be like, I'm celebrating Jewish history.
It's Black History Month, boy.
How can we celebrate Black history without mentioning our greatest allies?
Jesus. In his 1971 bid for U.S. Senate, the local press said the 30-year-old Sanders describes himself as a carpenter who has worked with disturbed children. In other words, a real winner. A failed carpenter who has probably molested those disturbed children.
A failed maple syrup gatherer.
A dude who lives in the woods but doesn't even have wood floors.
Dude can't even throw down some fucking gravel.
He finally wormed his way into the Senate in 2006, where he still ranks as one of the poorest members of Congress.
Like, they're basically allowed to do insider trading, and this dude is still poor.
Save for a municipal pension, Sanders lists no assets in his name. All the assets provided in his financial disclosure form are his second wives. He does, however, have as much as $65,000 in credit card debt. So before we go on, the dude, what do senators make? Like $220,000 a year, or something like that?
I thought that's what we looked up last time.
So, if you make $220,000 a year and you live in Vermont, how the fuck are you racking up $65,000 in credit card debt?
I don't know. Like, seems like who else is it that's having some financial troubles right now?
Kanye?
Kenny West?
Kenny West. Begging Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, give me some shekels.
I'm $53 million in debt. Personal debt, whatever that means. I didn't know there was a difference.
Doing the shekel shuffle, just begging for Kuckerberg to rain down some shekels on him. It was so sad, man. It's like he just needed to get brain trusted out of his misery.
If only. Him and his brown wife.
Dream a little dream, man. Dream a little dream. Have we made it through the article yet?
We have 2 more paragraphs.
All right.
This might be the best segment we ever did, and I'm just reading
It's
stuff.
so good.
Sure, Sanders may not be a hypocrite, but this is nothing to brag about. His worthless background contrasts sharply with the successful careers of other outsiders in a race for the White House, including a billionaire developer, a world-renowned neurosurgeon, a Fortune 500 CEO, and Jeb Bush.
And a guy who hands out turtles.
No, I added in Jeb Bush, but seriously, like, fucking W.
Dude.
I mean, Bush's dad inherited a fortune. Well, Herbert Walker inherited a fortune.
Herbert Walker inherited
a
fortune of Nazi gold.
And he made a lot more money out of it. W got his part of it, bought a fucking baseball team, invested a shit ton in oil, and made a fortune, and married a pretty good-looking lady. Oh, Yeb.
What the fuck, Yeb?
Fucking blows all of his money.
Why did you marry your dad's cleaning lady?
Not only did he marry Consuela, he blew like a $9 million bank loan that his dad had to bail. Well, the taxpayer had to bail him out back when his dad was president. And he's had more money in his campaign than anybody but Hillary. And I mean, he's still knocking on the door of irrelevancy.
Just imagine if Trump hadn't got involved, and imagine if we were looking at a Jeb Bush versus Bernie Sanders race for presidency. Can you imagine a more low-energy race?
I would rather sell my house and move to downtown Mogadishu.
Dude, just imagine how unwatchable every debate would be. I think your 10-cent titanium tax goes too far. I think your 10-cent titanium tax doesn't go too far enough.
Speaking of taxes, we still have another paragraph left. Have you seen Cruz's his flat tax plan? It's not a flat tax; it's a fucking VAT.
What is it?
The value-added tax.
Oh, okay, it's all right. I mean,
I'm not 100% opposed to VAT taxes as everybody else is on the alt-right, but
it's better than what we got now. Is my whole point.
It depends. I do want to read a lot more about it before I spout off about it, but anything that tries to do, a flat tax and then tries to add a value-added tax on top of that is generally not good.
Right.
Because a value-added tax is just a federal sales tax. And it hits every single level of industry, whereas the sales tax only applies to the final purchaser. Like, you go to the store and you go to Walmart and you buy your dildos, and they get a 6 or 7% tax on them. But Walmart, when they buy their dildos from China or Mexico, they don't pay any sales tax on it because they're not the final user. But a VAT tax, every time somebody improves upon it, so the person who burns the sand to make the silicone pays the tax on the amount that they improve the sand. And the person who puts that silicone into a plastic mold, they pay a tax on that. And at Walmart, when they buy it, they pay a tax on it. And when you buy the dildo to shove up your a-hole, you also pay a tax on it.
Man, could you like club me with the dildo instead? Because yeah, that was garbage.
So take your, even if it's only a 1% tax, multiply that by every single step that a product takes to go from, basically farm to table. You're adding a shit ton onto the price. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I get it. I'm just not. I guess no one's ever really explained it to me like that. I'm not really a fan of it.
No, so a VAT tax would be fine if you get rid of the underlying income tax.
If you get rid of basically every other tax.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way it's palatable.
Pretty much. So last paragraph. The choice in this election is shaping up to be a very clear one. It will likely boil down to a battle between those who create and produce wealth and those who take it and redistribute it. That was kind of a letdown of a final paragraph, right?
Yeah, it was We did our best with it.
Yeah. I mean, we got, like 15 good minutes out of that thing?
Oh, so good.
I'll take it. So we have one final topic, I think. It's the Gamecuck state predictions.
The Gamecuck state?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I was trying to play music, but it didn't work.
What were we trying to play?
I was going to play Europe's The Final Countdown.
We're trying to play this.
By God, he broke him in half.
One more time.
Whew. So South Carolina, it's gonna. If I can quote what one of Marco Rubio's aides said, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Trump is gonna bleed them out like pigs in the street.
I'm sure Marco Rubio has plenty of the AIDS after his time in Alice Wainwright Park.
Oh man, that guy loves the dong. Did you get that link I sent you on the messenger?
I'm clicking on it now.
Now this is I mean, we just saw that latest poll. And Trump, did he go up after talking shit about the Bushes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time Trump goes up, put that a notch. That's a measurement of just how pissed off America is at the establishment. Because any other time, any other person would have said this shit, and they would have been bounced right out of the cycle. But the game has changed, nigga. This that link I sent you though. What is it? WeHuntedTheMammoth.com.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It looks pretty faggy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty sweet name. We hunted the mammoth.
It's no.
Obviously, that's some whites. But their tagline is the new misogyny tracked and mocked. So,
But
basically, it's a bunch of fucking swipples
but they're not funny.
and social justice warriors.
Well, they saw a bunch of Trump supporters posting. Here. Let me read the title of the article. Trump fans celebrate his New Hampshire victory with racist cartoons, anime. Let me just pronounce it how I assume they do here at the website. Anime Maymays and Pepe.
Hey.
May Pepe. Do you have any Pepe Maymays? Any rare Pepe Maymays?
We'll trade you some.
Oh man, dude, don't blow the market on my Pepe Maymays. Oh God, we're a couple of spurgs, man. It's bad form. No more spurging out. But it's just hilarious. They just do not get. They don't get it at all.
And the best part is, all these are hashtag fascination ones.
Oh man, I was having so much fun in that hashtag.
I completely missed it, to be
What were
honest.
you doing?
When was it?
Was
it the night of?
Yeah, I thought it was Saturday.
Man,
Don't say banging your wife. Don't say banging your wife.
I was probably banging my wife.
Gross.
Ew. You made an icky on national television, national radio.
Did you ever listen to Internet Aristocrat?
I did not.
He was kind of like, I'm sure somebody will get pissed off at me for this, but he was kind of like a proto Daily Showa. And then a little E-fame went to his head, and he finger banged some Asian chick during a live hangout.
Nice. Like literally finger
Oh
banging?
yeah, like Nuck Deep, man.
Nice.
Yeah, like and apparently that caused like all kinds of drama. It's like, man,
At least he wasn't trying to find a cure for cancer.
right? Right upside Glenn Beck's cuckhole. I kind of felt bad for the old Internet Aristocrat. If it caused that much of a stir every time I finger banged a bitch. Eesh.
At least he was an Asian and he wasn't finger banging an orangutan.
I still don't approve of banging the Asians. For the purity of the white race.
Was she East Asian or was she? What was she?
I don't know, dude. Like, I only read about this on Poll.
Oh.
I had better things to do than watch some guy finger bang an Asian on a live hangout.
Really? I've seen your internet search history.
Have you?
No.
It's weird. Because I destroyed my computer. Me and the old lady are sharing one, so.
Incognito mode.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, but the point of me talking about that article from We Hunted the Mammoth is just how fucking clueless these clowns are. Like, they have no idea what they're dealing with when it comes to the alt-right, to what we are, what we believe in. Like, they can't even grasp the fact that we've more or less rejected racial egalitarianism.
Yeah, they still think they're going to shame us into submission with calls of racism and misogyny and Islamophobia.
And what's funny is we're better at weaponizing things like Twitter than they are.
For sure.
Like when I say we, I don't mean like you and I mean like the alt-right. And I've taken part in quite a few raids. We own the political comment sections online.
Yeah, it's a done deal, which is why, back to our first topic of the day is when Twitter goes down, unless we find a replacement, it's going to hurt. So I'm hoping at least Twitter rides out the next 9 months at least. Let Twitter give birth to the Trump. Is basically what we want. We got 9 months of...
9 months of Trump being the master of 144 characters.
What's your predictions for Saturday?
Jeez. What are we looking at right now? Trump like 32?
The 5-day rolling average, which includes the Saturday debate, which... Well, includes before the Saturday debate, includes the Saturday debate, which, if you called, I don't know who they would call, but I would assume a lot of the voters or whatever, their sample size would include people from the establishment, would rate Trump down still.
Yeah.
But it includes the 10th through the 15th. Trump's at 36.3, Cruz at 17.8. Rubio 15.8, Kasich 9.8, Bush 9.3, Carson at 5.3.
All right, so Kasich.
So,
wait, did you say gay shit?
yes.
So gay shit was a surprise at second place in New Hampshire.
Well, up until the day of the primary, I would have thought the same thing, but there was some I think there were like maybe 2 polls that came out where it said that he was polling like neck and neck with Trump, which is obviously,
Bogus.
an exaggeration, some hyperbole, but I assumed that, by that they meant that he was going to do well, and he did do well. It doesn't mean stop him from being such a faggot, but
Well, what are you gonna do?
the better he does and the better Carson does is the worse for Cruz and Rubio and Bush.
Mm-hmm.
So the less delegates they have, which makes it easier for Trump to take the. There's 1,237 delegates, and I wish that was 251 more. I wish he would need 1,488 delegates to confirm it.
That'd be pretty good.
So he needs 1,237. If you check out our website, ExodusAmericanos.com, we're running the countdown, and basically it has every state, how many delegates they're worth, and who took what. So in New Hampshire, there were 23 available. Trump took 10. Bush took 3. Carson didn't get any. Cruz took 3. Kasich took 4. Rubio took 3. Because Rubio was, like 0.1% above the deadline?
Something like
where it would go to Trump.
Yeah.
So where we're standing is Trump 17, Bush 4, Carson 3, Cruz 11, Kasich 5, Rubio 10. But South Carolina is winner take all.
Ooh, I was going to ask you if you knew how they were distributed.
So, and South Carolina is worth 50. So Sunday morning, Trump is going to be standing at 67 votes or delegates, and the closest one is going to be Cruz with 11.
Ah, man. I cannot wait to get up and shit post on Twitter on Sunday morning.
And then the next winner take all is not until, March 15th, Florida, Illinois, Missouri, the Northern Marianas, Ohio, and the Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands is the 19th. So the rest are proportional except for Colorado, which is unbound, Wyoming, which is unbound. I can see Colorado voting basically 0 for Trump. But Wyoming, I would think, would go off in for him.
You're pretty sweet.
But the next big one, Nevada's 30 in the proportional, but I think Trump is killing it in that. And then Alabama is 50. Which I don't know how does Alabama have such a high delegate count?
No idea.
It's supposed to be proportional on population, but Alabama definitely doesn't have a higher population than Colorado, which only has 37 delegates, or Massachusetts, which only has 42 delegates, or Minnesota, which only has 38.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
The only thing I'm worried about is Texas, because Cruz is from Texas. There's 155 up for grabs, and it's proportional.
All right. I mean, being proportional helps a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than winner takes all, but still, I mean, that could be, 60 or 70 votes for Cruz. And then Florida's 99 and winner take all. So
he's going to blow him out, dude.
I hope. We hope.
We hope.
America hopes.
America hopes. I think that's about all I got for this one. You got anything else?
I don't. Let me go through my tabs real quick. We got Charlie Daniels, The Real Clear, our website, and Facebook.
I think it's important to mention if
Twitter.
If anybody made it to the end of the podcast, I wish I could tell when people tapped out about listening to us get progressively drunker over the course of a show. But if you made it to this point in the podcast, don't forget to click that button and give us some good boy points. I got a computer to replace.
Even if you don't want to do that, click on the comment section of our website, or comment on the SoundCloud. We want to hear everybody's. Even if you have something terrible to say, you say we sound like a bunch of niggers.
Oy vey.
That's the first time we used the N-bomb like that, I think.
Jeez, right? And it wasn't me who did it.
I know. But even if you got to say that, leave it in the comments. We'll shit post back to you. I don't care.
Should be fun.
We generally don't turn down from a Twitter or Facebook fight, so.
In fact, we tend to seek them out.
So, that's all I have. You have anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Well.
Bye, Felicia.
Listen to Ice Cube there, and thanks everybody for listening. We're Exodus Americanus, ExodusAmericanus.com, SoundCloud.com/Exodus Americanus, on Twitter at ExoAmericanus, at Roscoe SB Jones, at Mr. Stone Exo. What else we got? YouTube, search for us, Exodus Americanus.
We're around, man. You can find us if you want to find us.
Yeah. Everywhere but the Facebook, because fuck Facebook.
Fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
All right, everybody. Thank you very, very much for listening. We appreciate you all, and we will catch you back here in probably about a week. Thanks for listening.
Don't get it twisted. This rap shit is mine, motherfucker. Fuck it. Fuck what you heard. It's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. Fuck. Fuck no. Fuck it. Bitch. Niggas. Bitch. Fucker. Niggas. But nigga, fuck you. Nigga. Niggas. Nigga. Niggas. Niggas. Come on. Come on.